business was, I grew up in Los Angeles, and I was studying business in college and never done a school play or anything.
Tom Selleck had a life that seemed larger than any script Hollywood could write. But even the brightest stars cast shadows, and his story began with a secret that would foreshadow decades of hidden turmoil. In 1987, Tom married British dancer Gilly Mack under assumed names. To the minister, they were strangers.
The marriage license? Forgotten.
They raced against time to fix it before dinner, a chaotic start to what the world would later see as a picture-perfect union. Only family attended, cameras captured Polaroid memories, and the media remained oblivious. But beneath the surface, the marriage was a quiet battlefield. Tom's relentless work ethic left Gilly feeling neglected. Counseling became necessary just months into their union. Yet life outside the marriage was far from private. Hollywood whispers and tabloids fueled rumors of obsession, jealousy, and intrigue. Tom's previous marriage to Jacqueline Ray lingered in public memory, and questions about whether Gilly's presence had caused the divorce never fully died. This secret wedding, far from a simple love story, mirrored the complexity of Tom's life: high stakes, unpredictable twists, and consequences that no amount of fame could shield him from. It marked the beginning of an era where personal decisions, career choices, and public scrutiny collided, creating a life story that was part triumph, part tragedy, and entirely human. From that day, Tom's journey was about navigating a world that demanded perfection, yet offered only scrutiny in return. Tom Selleck was born on January 29, 1945, in Detroit, the second child in a family of four. His mother, Martha, nurtured the home, while his father, Robert, invested in real estate and served in World War II, working on B-29 bombers. Detroit was noisy, industrial, and unforgiving, yet the Seelicks lived with a quiet resilience.
In 1948, when Tom was just 3, Robert made a life-altering decision. The family would leave Detroit for California, chasing opportunity with a commission-only job at Coldwell Banker. The risk was enormous. No salary meant uncertainty at every turn, but Sherman Oaks welcomed them as farmland, empty enough for dreams yet harsh enough to teach endurance. By 1960, Robert's gamble paid off. He earned $70,000 a year in commissions, nearly a presidential salary. But Tom's childhood was still marked by challenges. Growing taller than most of his peers, Tom towered at 6 feet 4 inches by adolescence. He felt awkward, out of place. Yet this height would later become an asset on the basketball court. Sports became his refuge. At Grant High School, he excelled in basketball and baseball, turning physical difference into accomplishment. Yet life never spared him its lessons. At 17, a near-fatal car crash on Mulholland Drive, in his mother's red Chevy Corve, left Tom shaken. The accident didn't just scar his body, it reshaped his perspective, instilling a vigilance that would follow him throughout life. Despite the hardships, Tom learned resilience early. He worked part-time in a clothing store, saving money to attend Valley Junior College before transferring to USC, refusing a basketball scholarship elsewhere because he dreamt of Los Angeles. Every step reflected discipline, ambition, and the constant balancing act of surviving while chasing bigger dreams. College didn't offer immediate glory. At USC, Tom's basketball dreams faltered. He scored just a handful of points across 2 seasons. Yet rejection did not deter him. A chance appearance on The Dating Game, though humiliating, caught a casting agent's eye, landing him a Pepsi commercial where he had to dunk a basketball on camera. Despite suffering from overindulgence in Pepsi during the shoot, he earned $1,000, a modest sum, yet a gateway to 20th Century Fox. Tom's early acting days were fraught with turbulence. He trained at the Beverly Hills Playhouse under Milton Katselas, a teacher whose intensity bordered on cruelty. Students had to clap, shout, and endure exercises designed to provoke raw emotion. Some called it a cult, others a crucible of genius. Tom endured, learning to channel discomfort into performance. The Vietnam War disrupted everything. Drafted in 1967, Tom joined the California National Guard, rising to second lieutenant. Service brought discipline but also forced him to juggle acting opportunities, keeping his uniform in the trunk, ready at a moment's notice. Fox dropped him during this period, but he refused defeat. Early roles brought frustration. Fired from shows for being too tall, burned on a horror film set in the Philippines, clashing with stars like James Garner on Rockford Files, Tom learned the harsh truth. Hollywood rewarded compromise, not integrity. Yet he persisted, building his craft with unwavering determination. His early life taught him the fine balance between ambition and humility, resilience and sacrifice, a lesson he would carry into the highest peaks of his career. Tom's career-defining role came with immense stakes. Magnum P.I. was almost a disaster before it began. The first script portrayed a cartoonish, over-the-top hero, a character Tom refused to play. He demanded humor, depth, and authenticity. Donald Belisario rewrote the script mid-filming, delaying production but preserving the show's soul. Success brought wealth and adoration, but it also amplified personal strain. Tragedy struck in 1980 when a helicopter accident killed a camera operator, Robert Van der Kar. Tom demanded immediate changes in on-set safety, clashing with Universal Studios over cost. His insistence saved lives, demonstrating that his concern for others often outweighed personal ambition. Meanwhile, fame intensified scrutiny on his personal life. Divorced from Jacqueline Ray in 1982, rumors swirled regarding his obsession with Jilly Mack. The world watched every dinner, every performance, every gesture. Yet, through this, Tom sought genuine connection, both on screen and off, navigating a world where every choice was public, every misstep magnified. By the series' end in 1988, Magnum P.I. had 50 million viewers, yet behind the cameras, battles persisted. CBS sought cost cuts and cancellations, but Tom's commitment to quality and integrity refused to compromise. This period cemented his reputation as a man willing to fight for what he believed, even at personal and financial risk. Even as Tom's fame soared, his personal life carried invisible scars. His second marriage to Jilly Mack, though passionate at first, faced the silent pressures of Hollywood and relentless work schedules. While Tom threw himself into acting, Jilly struggled with isolation on their sprawling 63-acre Ventura ranch. Their daughter Hannah was born in 1988 into a life of seclusion, surrounded by animals, wide-open spaces, and quiet, yet lacking the companionship of a bustling neighborhood. For Hannah, the ranch was both sanctuary and prison, a world of horses, dogs, and solitude. Tom also assumed responsibility for Kevin, Jacqueline's son, adopting him in 1987. Yet even with love, guidance, and financial support, Kevin battled addiction, legal troubles, and personal demons. Rehab stints at the Betty Ford Center offered temporary reprieve, but setbacks continued into his adulthood. Friends and family watched helplessly as fame and fortune could not erase the anguish or replace the guidance of lost youth. Tom poured his heart into his family, yet life reminded him that money and influence could never fully protect those he loved from pain. The pressures of wealth and work intensified. By the 1990s, Tom's commitment to his craft remained unshaken, but the stakes grew. Long hours on Friends, tense shoots for Quigley Down Under, and cultural missteps during Mr. Baseball all tested his resilience. Rumors swirled, mistakes were magnified, and every role carried consequences that extended beyond the screen. Despite the glitz, the accolades, and millions of fans, Tom's life was a delicate balancing act between public adoration and private turmoil. The man who could charm millions still wrestled with invisible burdens at home. Tom's story is a reminder that behind every star is a person navigating complex choices, emotional highs and lows, and the relentless weight of expectations. While the world celebrated him, his greatest battles were not fought on sets or red carpets. They were fought in quiet rooms, behind closed doors, and in the minds and hearts of those he loved most. The 2000s brought both acclaim and new challenges. From 2005 to 2015, Tom starred in 9 Jesse Stone TV films, based on Robert B. Parker's novels. These projects allowed him to stretch as an actor, even co-writing later installments. The films garnered high ratings and loyal audiences, particularly among older viewers, but were shadowed by a secret plagiarism claim, a reminder that fame often carried hidden complications. Despite the setbacks, Tom pressed on, transforming each obstacle into an opportunity. By 2010, he became the face of Blue Bloods, portraying Frank Reagan with a commanding presence. He was among the highest-paid actors on television, earning $200,000 per episode. But age and the physical toll of decades in acting began to weigh heavily. In 2015, a knee injury during a stunt escalated into chronic pain. Surgeries, arthritis, and medication began to erode the body of a man who once moved with agility and confidence. By 2024, Each day on set was a battle between willpower and physical limitation. Despite these hardships, Tom demanded authenticity. He carefully crafted family dinner scenes for Blue Bloods, insisting they reflect real, lived-in dynamics. He clashed with writers over storylines, often challenging scripts he felt veered into superficial or woke territory. Every detail mattered, because Tom's performances were never just acting. They were extensions of his life, reflections of his own values, his relationships, and his insistence on truth in storytelling. Yet even as he fought to maintain professional standards, private concerns loomed large. The pressures of fame, financial obligations, and a collapsing avocado ranch threatened to undermine his sense of stability. This was a man who had achieved Hollywood glory, yet faced the stark reality that success on screen did not automatically shield one from struggles off-screen. By the 2020s, Tom's body and finances were both under siege. The Ventura County ranch, once a haven, became a source of anxiety. A prolonged drought decimated nearly all 2,500 avocado trees and ancient oak trees, erasing decades of cultivation and investment. Legal troubles compounded the stress. A 2015 lawsuit accused him of illegally siphoning water during one of California's worst droughts. The case cost him nearly $22,000 to settle, and the public scrutiny was relentless. Tom's health mirrored the strain on his land. Bilateral knee surgeries, arthritis, and the side effects of medications made mobility a daily challenge. At nearly 350 pounds, Tom's body carried the weight of a lifetime of work, fame, and stress. Doctors warned him of insulin resistance and cardiovascular risks. Despite this, he remained determined to act, to keep the ranch, and to maintain control of his life. Each day became a careful calculation between ambition and survival. Financial pressures added urgency. The ranch, valued at $12 million, was overshadowed by loans totaling $15 to $16 million. Even a lucrative television career could no longer guarantee security. When CBS asked him to cut salaries by 25% to save Blue Bloods, Tom agreed, sacrificing personal wealth to protect the legacy of a show he helped build. Yet these decisions were not without cost. His body, his family, and his spirit were all stretched to the brink. Through it all, his marriage to Jillie Mack remained a fragile anchor. She stood by him, tending to both his physical needs and emotional well-being, but even her unwavering support could not erase the toll of decades of hardship. The ranch that once symbolized freedom now felt like a prison, a tangible reminder of what could be lost if Tom failed to keep pushing forward. In May 2024, Tom released You Never Know, a memoir co-written with Ellis Henkin. The book was brutally honest, detailing triumphs, failures, near-death experiences, career regrets, and personal reflections. Readers glimpsed the man behind the legend, a child of Detroit, a towering teen in California, a star navigating the turbulent waters of Hollywood, and a father striving to protect those he loved. The memoir became a bestseller overnight, revealing not only the highs of Tom's career but also the human costs of fame. The divorces, the near-fatal car accident, the helicopter tragedy, and the relentless pressures of public scrutiny. He spoke openly of depression, physical pain, and the isolation that accompanied celebrity life. Through the pages, readers understood that Tom's resilience was forged not by privilege but by perseverance in the face of overwhelming obstacles. Financial pressures added urgency. The ranch, valued at $12 million, was overshadowed by loans totaling $15 to $16 million. Even a lucrative television career could no longer guarantee security. When CBS asked him to cut salaries by 25% to save Blue Bloods, Tom agreed, sacrificing personal wealth to protect the legacy of a show he helped build. Yet these decisions were not without cost. His body, his family, and his spirit were all stretched to the brink. Through it all, his marriage to Jillie Mack remained a fragile anchor. She stood by him, tending to both his physical needs and emotional well-being, but even her unwavering support could not erase the toll of decades of hardship. The ranch that once symbolized freedom now felt like a prison, a tangible reminder of what could be lost if Tom failed to keep pushing forward. In May 2024, Tom released You Never Know, a memoir co-written with Ellis Henkin. The book was brutally honest, detailing triumphs, failures, near-death experiences, career regrets, and personal reflections. Readers glimpsed the man behind the legend, a child of Detroit, a towering teen in California, a star navigating the turbulent waters of Hollywood, and a father striving to protect those he loved. The memoir became a bestseller overnight, revealing not only the highs of Tom's career but also the human costs of fame. The divorces, the near-fatal car accident, the helicopter tragedy, and the relentless pressures of public scrutiny. He spoke openly of depression, physical pain, and the isolation that accompanied celebrity life. Through the pages, readers understood that Tom's resilience was forged not by privilege but by perseverance in the face of overwhelming obstacles.
Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more dives into Hollywood's hidden history.